Today we're taking a closer look at the Orion, an offering from Watches by Nick. That's coming up right after this. I'd like to start off by thanking Ben for letting me enjoy his watch. Ben, thank you for being so understanding and not reporting your watch as stolen despite how long I've kept it away from you. The Orion comes in blue or red, which refers to the color of the hour markings on the minute track and the water resistance text on the dial. This version is their blue offering. At first glance, the Orion appears to be a dress watch, but a longer look shows the beefiness of a tool watch. Its case has two finishes, the high polish seen on the bezel and the case sides, while the top of the lugs and crown guards have a brushed finish, and that's where we'll find one of the first details I can appreciate. A closer look at the brushed finish reveals the curve of the brush pattern and how perfectly that pattern flows from the lugs to the crown guards and back to the lugs. This seamless transition is one that isn't seen often enough. You can see the lugs are drilled to make strap changes a little less of a wrestling match, and it also saves the back of your lugs from the wrath of our strap changing tools. The lines found on the dial anchor the watch and keep it from being just another plain dial piece, and has only 3 lines of text. I could personally do without the line extending past the top of the Orion name and extending below the word automatic on the dial. The dial has applied markers with nice long triangles at the cardinal hours of 12, 3, 6, and 9, with 12 being the biggest, something that'll help you when the lights go out. While this piece won't be lighting your path on a dark night, it will let you figure out how long you've been walking, and I think that's pretty fair to its design. The blue that calls out 100 meters of water resistance is also subtly integrated along the outer minute track of the dial, with every hour position having a blue marker instead of a white one. This wasn't a feature I noticed until my 3rd time wearing the watch. The hands are slim and elegant, with a polished finish and a dash of lume that matches the finish on the dial markers. Rotating the slender seconds hand is the well-known NH35, a hacking, hand-winding movement I've had great experiences with. The gnarled crown makes it easy to unscrew and operate, while the surface of the crown is branded with what looks to me like 3 comets or shooting stars, something in line with the model's name. There's no denying that the crown itself is very wide at a whopping 9mm, just rising above the bezel and extending past the bottom of the case. Its complement is a black crocodile pattern padded leather strap that seamlessly kisses the case and curves downward, something that made this watch feel instantly fitted to my wrist when I first put it on. The caseback is a sterile screw-down caseback, and the exquisite finish on the brushing and pattern consistency is continued along the bottom of the lugs and crown guards, despite the fact that it's not something you're going to see all the time and could easily have been overlooked. I can't decide what category of watch this piece solidly sits in. If there's a category for a no-nonsense dress watch that can withstand a spontaneous detour, that's where I would put the Orion. And I can't conclusively say that I love it, but I certainly do like it. The one thing making me play hard to get when it comes to the love category is its beef. What I mean by that is that when I look at this piece, it almost reminds me of a Microsoft font that I loved, and then it's for some reason bolded to give the impression of taking up more space on the page. The Orion is only 38mm, but it has these thick long lugs, thick bezel and crown. It's kind of like Mighty Mouse, who couldn't make himself any taller, so he made himself wider, more stocky, and muscle-bound. These are all characteristics that allow the Orion to keep conservative measurements on paper, but feel more substantial on the wrist. The question is, does it work? I'll leave that for each of you to decide. Personally, I like it, but I don't know if I love it. This piece's finishing was one of the characteristics I was most impressed by. I'd love to know what each of you thinks about the Orion from Watches by Nick. A link to his site and incredible custom work will be in the video description below. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And as always, if this is your first time here, Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. That's it for this one. CG out.